Euronews also brings all the latest international news to your PC, mobile, tablet and smartwatch. Euronews. All views.
The deposed Catalan President Carles Puigdemont has called on Spain's government to respect the result of the region's snap election. Speaking in Brussels, where he's been living in self-imposed exile to avoid sedition charges, he urged Prime Minister Mariano Rajoy to immediately start unconditional talks on implementing the clear will of the Catalan people. I'm ready to meet Rajoy in Brussels or anywhere else in Europe, but not in Spain for obvious reasons, he said. I'm ready because we have to talk about the new political era that's beginning in Catalonia, in Spain and across Europe. And that must be a step marked by political solutions. Puigdemont went on to say that he will not return to Spain until his status and that of his jailed colleagues has been addressed, adding the situation called for rectification and restitution.
Catalan separatists claim a narrow victory in a snap regional election, setting the stage for further confrontation with Madrid. The U.S. Congress passes a short-term spending bill to avert a government shutdown, but the real fight will come after the Christmas holiday.
America's diplomatic isolation of Israel deepens as France pledges it will spur ongoing EU efforts to find a two-state solution.
Celebrations on both sides of Catalonia's political divide. Carles Puigdemont, leader of the pro-independence Junts per Catalunya, and Inés Arrimadas, head of the pro-union Ciutadans. Both claim victory. Puigdemont because he will likely lead the region's next government. Arrimadas because her centre-right party won most seats with 37. The right-of-centre Junts per Catalunya came a close second with 34, 2 ahead of the pro-independence leftist ERC. Anti-capitalist CUP won a disappointing 4 seats, but will likely join ERC and Puigdemont to form a government. The evening's big losers, the Popular Party with 3 seats and Socialist PSC with 17.
Celebrating victory and demanding freedom for jailed Catalan officials. The separatist leaders who fled to Brussels and campaigned from there managed to retain their absolute majority in the Catalan parliament. Now they feel entitled to hold another referendum on independence from Spain.
We fought in unequal conditions, but we still have won, so I think that the democratic mandate is definite, and of course we need to talk and to negotiate, but the Spanish government needs to listen to the people of Catalonia.
They hope they can safely return to Spain soon.
We would
like to return tomorrow, but of course we'll have to wait to see if there's any reaction from the Spanish government. And also if the Spanish justice system decides to change its opinion on our case. Puigdemont and his allies also want a meeting with EU representatives. They say that with this result, they've won the right to be heard. Our correspondent in Brussels says, after the initial euphoria, many questions are hanging in the air. Carles Puigdemont and his sacked ministers have said they want to return to Spain, but won't say when. They also hope Europe will now listen to the independence movement, but that won't be easy either.
Inés Arrimadas, leader of Catalonia's Ciutadans party, celebrating in Barcelona. The centre-right anti-independence party was the night's biggest winner, taking 37 seats in the region's snap election. It won't be enough to put them in government, but it will give the party a strong voice in parliament. We have won the elections for the Catalan parliament. For the first time in Catalonia's history, there's a constitutionalist party winning, and it's Ciudadanos. There's 1,100,000 Catalans who voted for us. I just want to say to you 1,100,000 thanks to all of you. It was a disappointing night for Catalonia's other anti-independence parties. The Socialist Party of Catalonia underperformed with 17 seats. The right-wing Catalan People's Party scraped in with just 3 seats. But perhaps the biggest loser of the night was Spanish Prime Minister Mariano Rajoy, who called the vote in the hope of dealing a blow to the region's secessionists. The more than 80% of Catalonians who turned out to vote had something else in mind.
The General Assembly is now voting.
The US has hit out after the United Nations delivered a stinging rebuke of its decision to recognize Jerusalem as the Israeli capital. In an act of defiance, 128 countries called on Washington to withdraw its recent move. US Ambassador Nikki Haley, however, insisted nothing had changed.
The United States will remember this day in which it was singled out for attack in the General Assembly for the very act of exercising our right as a sovereign nation. We will remember it when we are called upon to once again make the world's largest contribution to the United Nations.
During the debate on Thursday, Turkey's foreign minister branded Washington a bully.
Before this meeting, a UN member state threatened all the other members. We were all asked to vote no or face the consequences. Some are even threatened with the development aid cut. Such an attitude is unacceptable. This is bullying, and this chamber will not bow to do that.
Major allies like Britain and France were among those to vote for the UN's non-binding resolution. 9 countries voted against, while 35 others abstained.
Israel, I now give the floor to the...
Watching the United Nations vote in the West Bank city of Ramallah, top Palestinian negotiator Saeb Erekat. The vote to reject America's recognition of Jerusalem as Israel's capital is historic, Erekat says.
This is a day for peace. This is a day where the international community said the two-state solution on the 1967 line is doable. The state of Palestine with East Jerusalem as its capital to live side by side the state of Israel in peace and security on the 1967 lines.
The non-binding vote has been the focus of frantic diplomacy by Israel and the US in a bid to shore up support for America's unilateral move.
Israel completely rejects this preposterous resolution. Jerusalem is our capital,
always was, always will be. But I do appreciate the fact that a growing number of countries refuse to participate in this theater of the absurd. So I appreciate that, and especially I want to again express our thanks to President Trump and Ambassador Haley for their stalwart defense of Israel and their stalwart defense.
Trump's decision to relocate the U.S. Embassy to Jerusalem won't take effect for several years, but the prospect alone seems destined to complicate efforts to bring peace to the region.
The yeas are 66, the nays are 32.
The U.S. Congress has passed a last-minute spending bill to avert a government shutdown that would have been embarrassing after it approved sweeping tax cuts. The bill provides short-term funding for a health insurance program covering millions of children, but other major issues are being kicked into the new year. No deal was reached on protections for young immigrants who entered the U.S. illegally as children, also known as dreamers. That comes just as the Washington Post reports the Trump administration is weighing a policy that would separate families caught crossing the border with Mexico illegally. Other promised bills to extend a surveillance program, boost the military, and stabilize health insurance markets will have to be tackled after the Christmas holidays.
The arrest of an alleged spy in Ukraine risks straining UK-Russia relations even further. Stanislav Yezhov worked as an interpreter for Ukraine's Prime Minister Volodymyr Groysman and sat in on meetings with international leaders, including with Britain's Prime Minister. Now he's accused by Ukraine of spying for Moscow. This official had access to rather specific inside government information. He was well respected and at the same time worked responsibly, accurately and creatively for the Russian intelligence services. Yezhov, seen here at Groysman's side on a visit to London in July to meet with Prime Minister Theresa May, used special equipment to spy with, according to the website of Ukraine's security services.
Jumanji. Pick a character and you're that person in the game.
Teenagers are so absorbed in their video games in Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle. This new adventure comes more than 20 years after the Robin Williams original. Teens get sucked into an old arcade game, becoming their digital characters, and they've only got 3 lives to try to get out before it becomes permanent.
I'm 5 inches tall!
Matt Damon is not ready for the big time.